In this gripping tale, a young woman rises to fame in Hollywood, following in her legendary father's footsteps as an armorer. I'm Zoe, and welcome to Talescape. So this woman, her name's Hannah, and Hannah wants nothing more than to impress her dad. Her dad is a legend in his business. He's probably the most well-respected armorer in Hollywood. An armorer is the person who handles all the firearms on a movie set. One day, Hannah's dad books a really cool gig, and he brings her along as his assistant. There, she starts learning how to handle firearms and how to be an armorer herself. He trains her, and she does well enough that only a year later, she's hired as the head armorer on an indie movie, making her the only female lead armorer in the industry. She's immediately kicking ass at this and living up to her dad's expectations. When Hannah turns 24, she finally gets her big break. She's hired as the head armorer on a Western movie produced by and starring Alec Baldwin. This is huge for Hannah. She's going to show everyone that she's just as good as her dad. She takes the job and is expected to supervise all the prop weapons at all times and check each firearm before every use. She's having a great time doing this, making friends on set, and even going out partying with the crew after work. Allegedly, they're sometimes low-key getting high on set. But at some point, Hannah starts getting a little sloppy with her work. She leaves the armorer's cart unsupervised, leaves prop weapons lying around on set. She's just a little too relaxed for how important this job is. One night, after work, Hannah goes out drinking with the crew again. They're having a great time. She's smoking a little weed, doing a little cocaine. But the next day, she goes to work and production is behind schedule, so they go into rehearsal. The assistant director needs a revolver on set for a scene. He starts yelling at Hannah, "We need a revolver on the set for rehearsal." So she runs to get it, and this is where everything goes wrong. On a movie set, what's supposed to be in the revolver are dummy rounds, which look real but aren't. But somehow, live bullets made their way onto the set and into Hannah's arsenal of dummy rounds. She unknowingly loads one of those bullets into the firearm. She runs to get the revolver, which she keeps locked in a safe in the prop truck. She gets it and hands it to the assistant director, but she doesn't check it to make sure the rounds in it are actually dummy rounds. The assistant director doesn't check it either, and he hands it to Alec Baldwin. Baldwin, in the middle of a scene, doesn't check it as well. The cinematographer, Helena, is working the camera and walks Baldwin through the scene. She tells him, "Okay, point the gun right here, right below my armpit." As Helena is directing Baldwin where to point the gun, suddenly, bang, the revolver goes off and the whole room freezes. Helena falls to the ground. She's been shot. Baldwin, confused, thinks she might have fainted or had a heart attack. But then the rest of the crew sees Helena and the director, Joel, lying on the ground. The single bullet had passed through the right side of Helena's chest and into Joel's shoulder. Both are shot, but Helena is unresponsive. Someone calls 911, and police and medical help arrive quickly. A helicopter airlifts Helena to a nearby hospital, and an ambulance takes Joel away. Joel ends up being fine, but sadly, Helena doesn't make it. The police question Baldwin, and that's when they break the bad news to him about Helena.
I do have some very unfortunate news to tell you.
What?
She didn't make it.
No.
Yeah.
Then, of course, they question Hannah because she's the armorer. Hannah is devastated, knowing she just messed up her entire career. The story captures the public's attention and blows up in the news.
I'm like the only female armorer in the game, and I just f***ed up my whole entire career.
Have you studied armory, or did you go to classes, or how did you get into it?
My dad's the best, one of the best armorers in the entire world, and he trained me, and I'm a f***ing failure.
Baldwin, since he's the one who shot Helena, has to do damage control. He goes on ABC for a big interview and insists he didn't pull the trigger. The trigger wasn't pulled. However, he does admit to pulling back the hammer, which is allegedly how the gun actually went off, though this part is still in dispute. After a year-long investigation, the local sheriff's department releases a 500-page report on the incident. Right after that, Hannah is charged with involuntary manslaughter and sentenced to 18 months in prison. Baldwin is also charged with involuntary manslaughter, pleads not guilty and waits for his trial. But then, new developments come to light. It turns out more live ammo rounds were eventually found on set, and the prosecuting attorney didn't file them into evidence properly. This made it seem as if the prosecuting attorney was trying to withhold evidence from the court. The existence of these other live rounds could have helped Baldwin's case and potentially affected the trial's outcome. Once the judge discovered that the prosecuting attorney was allegedly withholding evidence, she dismissed the entire case against Baldwin with prejudice, meaning it can never be retried. Baldwin, of course, is highly emotional about this. Now that he's completely off the hook, Hannah's attorneys are trying to get her case dismissed too. If they succeed, she'll be released from prison. That's a wild turn of events. If you enjoyed this story and want more content like this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Talescape. Your support helps us bring you even more incredible stories. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next one.